Hello, hello. Is everything working? Okay, let's check. Um, Twitch. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Does it work?
Hello, hello.
Okay, cool. The sound is good. Um, nice. So, I don't have a lot of time. I have about 40 minutes. But hopefully, in these 40 minutes, we can do some stuff. And this thing is about comp time. Okay, let me get. Mm, yeah, this is getch. Okay, wait. Not that. All right. So, welcome back, everyone. On tonight's stream, what I'm going to do is that stream number 4 of this new series of going back to Zig. I want to comptimize the input. And I'm gonna skip this thing that I said on the last stream, reading and writing a config file, and adding key and gamepad access bindings. I'm gonna do that in the next stream because I don't have a lot of time. So let's just go on and do something like this. Wait, I'm hitting the wrong keys. Stream number 4 is gonna be comptimizing the input, and I'll show you soon what I mean by that. So first off, what am I working on? I'm working on something that I call the drone sim, which is an FPV simulator. It is open source. You can find it on my GitHub. Let me show it quickly. Zig build run. It's written in Zig. It uses Sokol as the graphics abstraction. And yeah, and as you can see in the newest version, you have input, controller input, which Sokol doesn't have by default, so I had to use a library. This was the last thing I did, was to turn this C library into a package and then include that package as as a library into the drone sim project. And I did this on the last stream. And yeah, if you watch other videos, you will see that. So when it comes to this comptimizing, as I mentioned, so yeah, this is basically the game. It is using Jolt physics, by the way. which is also the first time I managed to compile, thanks to Zig, Jolt. I never managed to compile it with C++. I always had some errors that I never managed to fix. And yeah, so this is like the first time I managed to actually compile Jolt, which is cool. Anyway, what did I want to say? Yes. So I want to use comptime on the stream. And if you go to main, I'm going to show you that right now the way that input works. Well, let's talk about actually first keyboard input, because this is not related to the axis input. I added a little checkbox here that says use gamepad, and if I turn it off, then I have this keyboard input. But right now, the way this keyboard input works, you can see that I'm getting like roll, left, right, and up and down is pitch, and yaw on A and D, and there's throttle on W. So the way that it works right now is, oh yeah, I did actually forgot to, give me a moment. So the way that it works right now is that I have this struct that says, you know, up pressed, down pressed, left pressed, right pressed. So I need to keep track of every key that I press, and well, here is that thing is fine, right? Sokal doesn't handle state of the buttons; it only handles the down or up state. So you have to kind of track which button is exactly pressed. You know, it only handles events as down and up. But here's the thing. Every time I add a new key in here, what I have to do is I have to detect the input, right? I have to detect the down key, and I have to detect the up key. And the thing is that every time I need to, whenever I add a key, let's say some key pressed, right? And I add a bool, and I say false here. For each of these, I have to add them here. And I say, well, let's say that's K, and do something, right? And and I have to check, like, oh, input state, some key pressed is true, and then I have to add down there dot K, it almost sounds like not K, dot K, and input state some key pressed false. So I have to make sure that I don't forget to rewrite the same thing 3 times, right? And I figured out that, you know, we can be a lot smarter about this. Instead of having to add these 3 things in every in the struct, we have to declare it. We have to detect the down key, the down event, and the up event. What we can actually do is we can use some comptime tricks to actually not have to do any of this. Right. So actually, the way I'm doing this, I already did something similar in my C++ engine in Shakedown Rally. But in Shakedown Rally, I'm doing this dynamically at runtime. So in Shakedown Rally, I do define these key presses, but then I actually add them into a runtime vector. And then for each of the inputs, I have like a map of the action and the bool and a key, I think, or maybe it was just the name and the key. I can't remember now. And then dynamically that's going to be allocated on the heap, and then in the event handling I just go for each through that event vector, and I detect whether it's pressed or not. So but the thing is that in Zig we can be a lot smarter, because comptime actually allows you to do to create structs at compile time. So I don't have to have this kind of, and not only can you create structs at runtime, what you can do at compile time, sorry. Not only can you do create structs at compile time, what you can do is you can loop through all the fields of a struct. So yeah, like Zig just allows you to do that, which is pretty cool. So in that case, we don't need to have a dynamically allocated runtime vector. Instead, we can just reflect, as we would say in programming languages, right? At compile time, you can just inspect the struct and you say, well, for this field and for this key, just for each of the keys, handle the down event, handle the up event, and that's what I want to try to do now. So, by the way, there is actually a really good example out there. If you say Zig loop through struct, I think if you Google that, you're gonna find a little gist. There it is, which gives you a simple example where you have a packed struct and it says inline 4 std meta. I don't know if you can see this. Std meta.fields type of x, and you just like loop through fields of a struct. And this is one of the moments where I fell in love with Zig, when I was like, what? You can actually do this. So yeah, and not only can you do this for the thing that I want to do now, I want to do exactly the same thing for making config files, which is also another thing that I had to implement in my C++ engine. And I also used std vector at runtime, right? But in Zig, everything like this can live at compile time. So let's begin. So how do we actually map this thing, right? How are we actually going to create a struct and then be able to loop through it? Well, here is the thing, right? We have these fields, and for each of the fields, we can do something, right? We can get the name of the field. So I don't know if this is the right way to do it, actually. Or maybe I should create a new map, because I need to create a bool. That's the thing. And probably I'm going to need to take the state. Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. I have an idea. We're going to have two structs. One struct is going to be the input map, right? Which is going to actually map it can be const, I guess, because everything is, I wonder if you can loop through constructs. You must be able to do that. So if you do a const, let's start rewriting this. I'm going to say up pressed, right? And this is actually going to point into a key, and the key is what? What is the type of the key? Key code. And the key code is app. So it's in the app, so it's SAPP key, right? So SAPP.key, key code, there it is. That's going to be the type of all our elements. And so yeah, and we can say dot up is up. That's it, right? So there we go. We have the input map, and we don't have to keep the bools here, because we can just yeah, we're going to create a new struct that's going to keep track of the state at compile time. All right. So, yeah, we have our first field. Well, it's not a field, it's actually a const value that is in the, I was just checking the stream if everything is fine. Well, it's not a field, it's God damn, why is it, you press pause, but it keeps on going. Sorry about that. Yeah, one more thing that I can a little bit reduce the size of the code is that I have sapp.keycode. I'm gonna have a lot of these, right? Because there's gonna be 10 of these, for example, or more. I can do a const. I can alias it, and I can even say key, k, and then instead of key code, I can just put k here. And I wonder if this works. This is weird, but I don't think that, no. That can't work. Yeah, I don't actually have to write this. I can write k.up. And yeah, of course, here's the thing. We don't have to write pressed because it's not a state. So we're just going to call it up. And there it is. So we can just rewrite everything with, replacing everything. Well, this is one of those few times in life when I would like to have multiple cursors, like in Vim, but not this time. So yeah, let's just. I don't have time. Wait, can you define? No. Can you do multiple cursors? Oh yeah, you can actually do multiple cursors. But how did I do that? Alt? Is it alt? No. How do you do it in VS Code? I managed to do it for a moment. Okay. I don't know what I did. It's probably possible. VS Code multiple cursors. Let's do. Anybody knows the shortcut? Alt plus click. Option click on Mac OS. And what about Linux? Well, alt click doesn't work, obviously. Yeah, this is a different thing. This works on Windows and Linux with a star. Yeah, I would have finished everything. Yeah, one thing I can do actually is just say pressed. I can search and replace, I don't have to. And then I can just say nothing. And there we go. Replace everything. Oh no, I wanted to do it in the selection. How do I say only in the selection? Find in selection. Yeah, there it is. But everything in selection. Okay. I only want to change in the selection. Why the hell is it so stupid? Find in selection. There it is. So replace. Okay, there it is. Well, whatever. That was the most inefficient. I could have actually said bool as well. I could have said everything. Oh my god. This is the worst. It's like I'm so embarrassed right now by like doing this in stream. Come on. And this is like 10 variables. I could have just manually edited everything. And this is const, of course. And since this is vertical, I can actually multiple like this. This is the most embarrassing thing about streaming, when you fail doing something that can be done in 10 different ways, and you just fail every way. Yeah, that's great. And now I'm just gonna do this. Here we go. Down. Oh, that needs to be all capital. Left, right. Pitch up is actually left and right we don't use anymore, I think. I think left and right is gone. So we don't even have those. Pitch up is, yeah, we already have these, right? Up and down. Yeah, no, wait. Pitch up and pitch down. We don't have up and down anymore. And that's pitch up should be up, and pitch down, down. My God. No, actually, yeah, and we have throttle. Where is throttle? Why did it disappear? Throttle is KW. Let's say throttle up. Or should I call it power? I don't know how it's actually called in drone speak. And of course we need semicolons at the end. Yeah, this is the most embarrassing programming ever. I'm just gonna, I just wanna shut down the stream and shoot myself right now. And we also have throttle down. There we go. All right, so since we have the map, can we also, yeah, let's separate this so that we know that the first const is here. Okay, since we have that, what we can do is create a struct at compile time, and we can do that by creating a function that we're gonna say create input map, input state, or should we call it input state, like this? Yeah, because this struct should actually, yeah, this should be the input map, like capital, and input state. And since it's a function, it's going to return a type, and the type is going to be, now we have to use the type info, if I remember correctly. Type info, or do we, let's see, zig type info. All right. Type info built in that provides the reflection capabilities. Let's look into type info. Or is it type? Type info provides reflection. But I actually want to create a type. This function is the inverse of type info. It reifies, I don't know how you read this, type information into a type. It is available for the following types. Yeah, and we are actually going to create a struct. So here it is. So how do you create a struct? Type info, type info. I think you say type, and then the info should be, this function is the inverse of, yeah, let's see. Is there, yeah, if I say, so, okay. Zig struct create with type. I don't know even how to say this. Type built-in function. Oh, there is actually an example. Nice. Type struct. Okay, struct info. Okay, so you first provide a types a struct. My generate a struct. It has the struct info. Okay, so type should have a dot struct, and it's gonna be my struct info. Really hard to say, which in my case, yeah, let's go with struct info equals std built-in type, built-in type, struct field. Okay, so you create a struct field for each of these, right? Ah, I see. So this is going to be comptime, and yeah. So I actually want to create a struct for each of. Aha. So here's what I can do. What I can do is I can grab a type info for input map, and I can say how many fields there is, but okay, you have to say struct dot fields declarations. Maybe it's decals. Struct dot decals declarations. You know, I wish I can actually output this. Len. Okay, so how can I actually decals num? Let's see how many declarations there is. Is it gonna tell me? No, it's not gonna tell me. Can I do compile error, and I say compile time message? I'm gonna say decals plus decals num. Can I do that? But I think it can't be a string, right? Or can it? Let's try this. Wait, what if I put it outside? Is it gonna run? Is it gonna run? Expected comma after field. What? What? Expected comma after field. What are you talking about? Expected comma after field. What field? This is so weird. What about, yeah, I'm gonna turn this. Can I do comptime print? Okay. What if I just do this? Decals num. And I'm not gonna do compile error. I don't know what's up with this. Expected comma after field. Is it to do with my previous sentence? I don't know. This is the weirdest thing. Is this some compiler problem? Okay, maybe it is because of everything. Who knows? No, this compiles, right? Yeah, this will compile. This, however, immediately says expected comma after field. Ah, I think this need to run. Can you do a comptime function? Comptime function zig. Zig, I guess. It has realized. Allows code to be executed. Can I force something to run at comptime? Can I force something to run at comptime? Outside of a function. How do you do that? How do you call a function comptime even? Fibonacci comptime int type return. I guess I just need to have some function, something, and call this at compile time. Expected return type. Yeah. Is it going to say something? Does compile error even work? Yeah, of course. This is not going to compile because it's not in the... It should... This should error. Expected tuple or struct argument found use size. Okay, so at least it runs, right? What about this? And I have no idea if yeah, comptime print expected tuple or struct. Where is this coming from? Comptime print generic function instantiated here. Called at comptime expected tuple or struct argument. But I do of course. This is my most classic Zig issue when you do this. Okay, so let's try decl's num. Once again. Aha, value of type const ignored. I guess I'm gonna comptime print. All right, so the print doesn't actually print. The print actually returns a slice. So, okay. What if we compile error? Compile error. I just want to inspect this at compile time, and I have that's the thing what I'm trying to do. Okay, there it is. It works. Right. So what we can do now is we can just add decl's num. But of course it won't indexable if found use size. I want to see what this decl's num is. Why don't you just, you know what, in C++, in Visual Studio at least, like you can just hover over a comptime thing and it will actually tell you what the size is, which is actually nice. But here you have to like print it and stuff. Okay, let's see, comptime print, let's try this. It's probably, I can probably do that, right? Expected, yeah, oh, there it is. Expected comma after argument. After what argument? Okay, it's missing a closing bracket. Okay, there it is. But it's not 0. There it is. It has 0 decals. Comptime print does work. That's good. Gives me 0. So it's not about declarations. It's something else. How do you call this? Okay, what about fields? Let's see. Is it going to give me any number of fields? Come on. Come on. Compile, please. Is it still compiling? and it did not output here the following compilation errors. Cannot slice without a specifier. What? That's incorrect. Okay, so I need to do this. I just want to output a goddamn number, and it's giving me some weird issues. Cannot format slice without the spec. Okay, is there any other better way to like debug comptime values than using compile error? Please tell me. Give me error. Cannot format slice without a specifier. What? How did it manage to? How did it work? It worked a few moments ago when I wrote this, and it doesn't work now. What the fuck is going on here? Is someone joking with me here? Cannot form a slice without a specifier. But it worked. Ah, okay, of course, because because this is fields and not fields len. Yeah, it's confusing errors. God damn it. Okay, well, is it gonna tell me now? The error lens? There it is. It has appeared for a moment and then disappeared. Yeah, struggling with Zig. Okay, so it says 0. So it doesn't have fields, it doesn't have declarations. So what are these? What are const values? Is tuple layout backing integer? What the fuck? Okay, I'm just confused. So how do you exactly get the consts? Zig const, yeah, zig reflection const in struct. Discovering public functions via reflection. Zig's reflection capabilities built-in struct field provides details. Yeah, that's a field. Public functions. Maybe it needs to be accessing the default value requires casting to const. Yeah, I'm so confused. Does it need to be pub or something? Is that the problem? Well, I mean, it would probably give me a different decals. What exactly is struct decals though? That's my question. Zig struct decals. How to iterate over struct declarations. But is struct declarations type info is only showing public declarations. Aha. This is intended behavior. So it needs to be public. So what about now? ZLS, are you going to help me now? Nope. Okay, I have to build. I have to build explicitly. Let's see, what does it say? And of course, I need len again. Okay, so ZLS, there you go. Thank you, but it gives me 0. Does it need to be pub? Like this? So what about now? Hey, look! We got 2, so everything needs to be pub. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, Alt clicking on things actually makes you move the window. That's interesting. Okay, so pub, add pub everywhere, and now we have the declarations. And we can loop through the declarations. Cool, there, we had 8, finally. We have 8. Okay, so let's keep this input state. And let's keep going on through the type info. As we say, decals type info. Okay, input map and dot struct close bracket dot struct dot decals. So now we can loop through these decals for each of the decals. Decal, and let's see. Whoops, I made a mistake here. Decal dot name. Okay, so for each of the decals, what I want to do is I want to create a struct field. Const struct field. So yeah, let's do. Oh, you know what we can do? We can do a multi-object loop. And here's how we do that. I'm going to say fields, and it's... Oh, maybe I can do decals as well. Huh? No, it needs to be fields, because it's going to be changed at runtime. Type info... No, actually, can I create decals as well? Built-in type struct decal. Is it, can you do decal? Declaration. You can create declarations as well. This is interesting. So it doesn't need to be a struct field. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, since we're going to have one static, let's do state decals here. And I'm going to create here the decals length. It's going to be a array of decal length, and since we know this at compile time, it should be able to build it. And the type is going to be std built-in type declaration. So we have an array of declarations, and what we're going to do here is we are going to have declaration names. Yeah, basically for each of the declarations, we can loop through the declarations, and we can loop through state decals. Oh yeah, this needs to be initialized. This is not a type. Yeah, and how do we... yeah, right. I need to make it undefined, so that like equals undefined for now. And I wonder if I can change it even though it's const. And what we need to do is we grab a pointer and the declaration and state decal. We're gonna put this thing. So state decal name is gonna be decal name. And well, how do we define a type of a declaration? This data structure is used by the Zig language generation that must be kept in Zig. So how do you exactly this data structure? Okay. This data structure is okay. This doesn't make any sense. If there's a declaration, it needs to have a type as well. So maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Calling conventions. So maybe you can't create declarations at runtime. Because for each of these declarations, yeah, that's a strange thing. Type of a declarations is correct about decal field visibility issue. Turn declarations into comptime fields so you can iterate over them. Type info, struct fields, decals, struct, count, comptime, count function fields. So you can put a comptime keyword in front of it. Okay. I'm confused here. Decal struct. Yeah, but this is not a declaration struct. I need to have a const. Maybe it's impossible to do this. Okay. Zig type of declaration. Maybe that's impossible to do. Reflection. Decal name, decal type. There is a dot type. What? Okay, this is weird. Type info. Info. Type info. But it doesn't exist. Type info of the struct. Okay. And then for the struct, for each of the declarations, that's exactly what I'm doing. You can decal the type, but there is no such thing as a type declaration. Did they remove this from the language? You can further inspect. Did they remove it, or did the AI invent dot type? Maybe they removed it. Because obviously it doesn't exist. Can you do this? Yeah, but nobody is calling input state. So let's make something create a input state. Or maybe this is what we're gonna do. This is how we can do it. Input state is input state. And that should work. Input state 2. No, let's remove this one. Yeah, let's do it 2 because we're gonna have, whoops, not save as. So this should give me a compile time error if the type doesn't exist. Oh, well, that built. That is, but maybe because nobody is using input state. Input state unknown type. Yeah, the annoying thing is that we won't be able to ZLS inspect it. So we don't have auto completion for that. Yeah, but it must exist, right? It must exist. This is just a type. So let's just make it like this. Can you do that? Since nobody is using it. Yeah, it does build. But maybe because nobody is using it, it's not input state down pressed. Okay, there it is. It does exist. Oh no, that's the other input state. up. Let's do like something like that to make sure that this compiles. Even if it doesn't exist, it's so weird. Okay, now it's telling me an error. State decal name cannot assign to constant. Yeah. So we can't do this because the const needs to be the compile time thing. Cannot assign to a constant. Yeah, this is far more complicated than I thought. I thought you can just go through each of the declarations. But maybe what I can do instead is create a field, turn all of these into fields, and then I can inspect the type of it. Or maybe this is the decal is a declaration, and the strange thing is that you have declaration name, you only have a name and you do not have the type. That is the strange thing. So anyway, here is the problem. I need to go. And I thought that I would be able to do this. Maybe I'm gonna concatenate the two videos of this stream. But yeah, I'm gonna have to continue tomorrow. This is so strange. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a new struct which has all the fields that I can loop through. But unfortunately, I don't think we can do that. I don't think it's possible to create declarations at runtime. You can create fields. Yeah, this would be cool to be able to do that. State declarations. It has a question mark, although it should work. State decal cannot assign to constant. Yeah, I think we need to use fields for the new one. State fields is fields len and type is going to be field, struct field. But here's the thing, state fields. Yeah, I have a field. Oh, I'm being, wait. Need to mute that for a moment. Yeah. Field. Let's try to do that with a field, right? So field.name is the same as decal name. And the field type we can do actually, we can set. And the type is actually going to be bool in my case. So the field type is going to be bool, but the name. But I have to inspect this. I have to get the value. So how do I get the value of it? How do I get the value of the name? Cannot assign to a constant. Ah, right. I cannot assign to a constant because states fields is a constant. So apparently, okay, I see. The return, and we're gonna return the type, but we're gonna have to create the type first. So that's gonna be this type struct is and dot fields is gonna be state fields, and we're gonna return this type. state field array literal requires address of. Yeah. This is going to be the address of. Missing struct field layout. You need to define the layout as well. Layout is auto. Yeah, since we don't care about sorting, but it's all the same types. So missing struct field decals. Oh, you need to have decals as well. But yeah, this is the well, there's gonna be nothing in the decals. Am I missing something else? Is tuple no? Is tuple no? And backing integer is null by default. So I guess that's it. Use of undefined value here causes illegal behavior. What is undefined? Type is struct. Okay, let me see again. How do I define zig create type? Create struct with fields. How to generate a struct fields at comptime? This is what I need. For each type info field. You know what? I have to leave. I really have to go. So unfortunately, I thought this is going to be quicker, but I got stuck with a lot of things here. So, yeah, I'm going to continue maybe later tonight because I wanna finish this thing. And then when I publish this to YouTube, I'm going to like put these videos together. Anyway, yeah, I really have to go. I'm going to figure out what this creation of types, how it works exactly later. If somebody has any suggestions how I could do it, would be nice. But yeah, I think this is actually going to work and I can get away from all of these things and just do this at compile time. All right, so see you later, hopefully. I don't know what is going on here. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay, see you later. Bye.